Hey, what's up, everybody? Yo, 44 coming at you with another video. All right. So, did a Laker video about a couple hours ago. Listened to some more Laker content since then. Trying to just absorb the overall vibes. Trying to see if I'm the only one who's feeling mighty pessimistic out here as regards to the Lakers. And to be honest with you, I'm not. I'm really not. Seems like a good portion of what the overall sentiment is not positive about the squad right now. What we're hopeful for is just that they'll win the last two games to give us something to feel good about in regards to the team. Hopefully, maybe in winning two games, they can have some sort of rhythm, get Anthony Davis back on the floor, get LeBron feeling like himself again, and maybe have some momentum going into the play-in tournament, for which we know at this point we have clinched. So I really am looking at that as a silver lining. There's still more ball to play. You figure if we win the next two games in blowout fashion, suddenly you feel like you have momentum. Suddenly you feel like you're a winning basketball team again. And the way this team has gone, we need something to rally around. Maybe a blowout win, maybe a buzzer victory, something to rally around going into the play-in tournament so that this team can feel like it's capable of winning a one-and-done basketball game. I mean, that's what I'm going to be looking for, is just something maybe outside of our control that can improve our overall team body language, I guess is the word I want to say. Chemistry and body language needs to improve, and I don't know that it won't take something supernatural, more or less, to improve that right now. Given the fact that guys have been missing with the flu or whatever it is that Anthony has, I have no idea. No one does, really. Lakers have been kind of hush-hush about that. I assumed that it was the same thing that LeBron James was suffering from. Whatever illness that he had gave him nausea, some type of stomach ailment. I just assumed it was the same thing that Anthony was dealing with when he was reported to have had nausea and headaches. But then when I consider the possibility of a concussion, given the fact that he was hitting the eye, maybe you look at it like that, but I don't know, man. That didn't look like hard enough of a hit. Bad enough of a hit directly to the eye, but not hard enough of a hit for me to consider that being a concussion possibility. But I'm not a doctor, I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I know that if Anthony Davis is not wearing goggles in this next basketball game, I'm just going to assume he's not doing everything he can to assure that he's on the basketball floor and available to his team. It's not about whether or not you're comfortable anymore. You've been targeted for your eye over the last couple of games. Every other game he's been hitting the eye, it seems. So at this point, that was the third time? He needs to just put on the goggles or whatever the protectant would be to put himself in the strongest possible position to just, if he's hit, not have to be forced out of the basketball game. Anything less than that is him not doing his job at this point. And for all of the work that he's put in to shake off the idea that he's street clothes Davis and he's worked so hard to play all these basketball games, if it comes down to him not being available because he's hitting the eye or hitting the face or something of that nature again, one just has to wonder if he's serious about really shaking off that label. So that's what it comes down to, man. For all of the work he's already put in, is he going to do what it takes to keep him on the floor now, or is he going to say this is good enough? And if this is good enough, he needs to understand that it's not, because our team is in ninth place, and that's unacceptable if you're us. And then we know a lot of things cater to why that team is in ninth place. We know that our coach could have used the team differently, even though injuries were in place. We know this. But at the end of the day, it's not about what caused you to be in this position. It's about whether or not you're going to dig your way out of it. And that's really what it comes down to. We can go about rewinding and talking about history. We can go about calling Darvin Ham out and demanding he be fired and all of those wonderful things. But at the end of the day, this team still has 2 or 3 games left to play, depending on what they do in the play-in tournament. 3 games for certain, and 4 maybe. If they don't win these games, then the season is over. And everything that they did leading up to this point, it's just a part of a failed season. And so that's what it really comes down to. Are they serious or not? Guys can say they are hurt and sick and all of that, and that's understandable, but you've already played through a lot. You've already been through enough. At some point in time, you got to honor all of that and do what it takes to finish the job. And that's where we're at with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You've already played through plenty. Are you going to honor that? Or are you going to say that you've done enough and accept the fact that we're going to be upset about it as fans? Whatever the case may be, you don't have to care what we think. It's your blood, sweat, and tears that have gone into this season. And even though you may feel like a lot of your effort is null based on the fact that some of the decisions made around you have been poor and it may have led to your team not being as good, at the end of the day, if you're serious about winning, you got to put forth the effort to make sure that right now you're winning, not celebrating yesterday's victories and saying yesterday's effort is good enough. It's not about convincing all of us. It's about completing the job. And that's what we're asking our team to do. Let's complete the job. And so that's my attitude right now. I understand LeBron James played through it. You know, I'm wondering if there's somewhat of a cold war between him and Anthony Davis. You didn't show up. You were sick for the last one. I'm going to make sure I don't show up and be sick for this one since you ain't show up for me. I don't know if that's what's going on. I haven't heard nobody else say that, but it crossed my mind that they're actually in feud with one another. And if that's the case, we need them to get it together. You know what I mean? If they're not on the same page to end the season because they're unhappy about how things are going, well, guess what? You're not alone, because you got about 4 million fans that feel the same exact way. And it's within your control to see that things get better, not ours. So that's what I would say to both of my stars. If that theory holds any weight at all, for which I came up with in my own skull, but holds a lot of adding up, if you ask me, and you consider that LeBron James didn't show up for the Minnesota game, Anthony did, got knocked out of it. Now Anthony ain't show up for the Golden State game. I don't know. I don't know. But what I can say is your fans are paying for product, and that product is not up to par. I don't care how you slice it. Everybody has a job to do in that organization, and we demand the best of them, the best from them and the best of them. That's what it really comes down to. And if our team is not going to give us that, then we're going to be calling foul every single time. We're going to be asking for people's jobs and all different types of other stuff. It's not rocket science. Play the best of your talent. Win basketball games against teams that you know you're supposed to beat in Memphis and New Orleans. And then take care of business against a Golden State team that you have beaten this season once. And otherwise, if you would have had your full talent, you'd probably beat them the other times as well. You know, it's not like we think that we would have lost those Golden State games if we would have had our full talent against them. I don't know if that turns out to be something that works in our favor, since we will likely have both of our stars in those games. But in the game against Golden State, but I know one thing. You got to win that game or your season's over. Now, there is some silver lining to that, and that is if our season does end early and New Orleans decides not to take our pick from us, then we have a pick that we can use to make our team better, however we want to do that. That's something to be happy about, I guess, if you're a Laker fan. Like, yo, we get our pick. Yay. Question is our team going to do the right thing with that pick? Whatever that looks like. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know. As we said in the last video, I'm not really sure. You know, my mind tells me to draft every pick I get. And only trade it for something that I'm absolutely in love with. I believe in the evolution of the sport. I believe in the evolution of human beings. And the next generation is always going to be stronger, faster, and smarter, and more accurate than the previous. So if I load up on young talent, I got the best of tomorrow in my uniform instead of watching it kick my behind while I'm running around with a bunch of old guys. And if I get the best of tomorrow's talent, those old guys are going to want to finish their time in my uniform, so I don't have to rush around or bend over backwards to attract them. I just need to make sure I got the best of stuff. And that's what the last video was essentially talking about. So, yeah, that's what I want to see the Lakers do. Put forth an effort to do things with the understanding of what your advantages are. You got this LA market, you got the LA Lakers emblem and brand, you have the history and the idea that you could be following in the footsteps of great players when you put on the uniform. So great players will likely want to be attracted to that circumstance. It's not going to be mediocre guys that want to put on a uniform. It's going to be the guys that believe themselves to be the best that are going to want to put on this uniform. And so that's why I just don't want the Lakers to try so hard with these stars. Try so hard to keep Bron and AD happy. No. At some point in time, you got to know who you are. You got to know what your advantages are. And in this case, we got what they want. It's sunshine and that purple and gold and that lure and the idea of being a part of a winner and all that stuff. They want that whether Genie's in place making them happy or some other owner in place making them happy. They're going to want to be here. And so that's why I don't want us to work so hard to keep these guys happy. It ain't that serious, man. It really ain't. But yeah, that's my whole point of view. I just think that you could be known as the team that keeps stars happy, but if the stars are going to want to come to you anyway, why work so hard with that? Why does that have to be the motto? You know what I'm saying? Nah. Now, if I'm a small market team somewhere in Sacramento, I definitely want to be the team that keeps stars happy, because otherwise the stars will never want to be here. If I'm Dallas, you know, they have that type of reputation. That helps them keep good players in place. Us, when the Sunshine's going to attract that. We don't have to worry about that. So I just want Jeannie to revamp her thinking, as I've already said. And hopefully we can get what we need to make sure that all the other more difficult things for us to have in place are in place. That's the job, man. That is the job. And so I know I listened to someone speak about their pessimism in regards to the Lakers making a coaching change. And I understand that she probably won't want to pay a coach another 4-year deal, a 3-year deal. Coaches are coming at a premium right now. It's hard to get the right coach. We've done it wrong a lot. So the confidence that we're going to bring in a better coach may not necessarily be there. I think those are understandable things. However, I don't know if they're understandable enough to be willing to let another season go by with LeBron in our uniform, having that coach be the coach. Now, if you want to redo your entire team and start the rebuild, then that could be a great excuse for keeping Darvin Ham. Well, we got a young coach that ain't no good. The team ain't expected to be no good because we want to get the first pick in the draft next year, or however that works. Now, obviously, that doesn't necessarily work because, of course, our pick will go to New Orleans. But maybe they take it this year, and then that could really be a thing. Whatever the case may be, we know we don't have our pick in 27 because I believe we gave that to the Jazz in getting rid of Russell Westbrook. I believe that's how that went. So no pick at 27, potentially no pick either this year or next year. Whatever the case may be, if we trade our stars, we can get the picks necessary to put ourselves in a position to rebuild. We can maybe even trade for our own picks to get them back. I don't know. The point is, it's possible. Whatever the case may be, what I really want to see the Lakers do is have either the rebuild in place if you're going to keep Darvin Ham, or if you're going to keep LeBron James, get him, Darvin Ham, out of the organization entirely. Or if you want to make him an assistant coach, demote him that way. I probably wouldn't suggest it, but you know, maybe he keeps his job that way. I don't know, but he can't be the head coach anymore if you still want to win. If you're still trying to go forward with a timeline that is win right now, then the coach that you have in place cannot be Darvin Ham at all. And so that's really what I got to say. And I do think you should bring a coach in on an interim basis. I don't think we should be giving anybody, based on our circumstances, a 4-year deal. What is our leverage? We're the Lakers. You want to coach for us because we're in Los Angeles. We got LeBron James. We got Anthony Davis. And we got this Laker lore. So either you're going to sign on for a 1-year, 2-year deal so that we could test you out since we've been bringing in bad coaches for the last 15 years, or we can pass on you and go with the next name on our list. But I'm not giving away a 4-year, 5-year deal, and I don't think any coach has the leverage to demand I do. So, like, that's literally how I'm approaching that. And I guarantee you get a coach. Why? Because you're the damn Lakers. Remember, what your advantage is. You got this, LA. You don't have to fight so hard like the rest of these organizations, let alone harder. They gotta get. Darvin Ham never had the leverage to get a 4-year deal, a 3-year deal. Y'all just gifted him that. He never had that leverage. That's a rookie coach. Why y'all signed him to that in the first place was a mistake on your part. You weren't forced to do that. Same thing with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel won a job in LA. He take the deal he's given. Otherwise, he's out of here. I think Ty Lue had a much greater argument, but he didn't take the deal given, and he's not the coach of the Lakers. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how you got to approach it. I don't have any coach out there that I must most definitely need There is no coach. I can get any old coach. You understand what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. Whoever don't want to be here, we'll find someone who does. But I'm not going to be bending over backwards to give a coach some premium deal just so I can put him in my uniform and not be sure if he's going to be the guy I want next season. Nah, we're not doing that no more. Coach, for the Lakers, you on a 1-year deal, bruh. And if we don't like what we see at the end of the season, your ass out of here. Because that's how it's been. Every coach we pick up, we want gone after a season, it seems. Unless the championship is won. So that's the only deal I'm willing to give these dudes. I don't mind switching coaches every year if that's the deal. I don't mind. And if he does turn out to be good, what, he going to walk away? He ain't. He going to want to stay. And mind you, you don't know who's going to be shaking or loose available a year from now. Maybe Ty Lue leaves the Clippers next year. Maybe things don't work out with the Rockets. You can get Udoka a year from now. Maybe, you know what I mean? There are other coaches that may be available soon. But for the time being, we need to bring in an interim so that we can rid ourselves of the coaching issue we got right now. As far as me signing somebody to a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, he better show me some leverage for that. Who are you? You Popovich? You Spoelstra? You Phil Jacks? Nah, you ain't none of them people, so I'm not giving you no 5-year deal. I'm not giving you no 4-year deal. I'm not giving you no 3-year deal. So that's the way I want the Lakers to approach this coaching situation. Whoever's coming in, they need to understand. We the prize. We the prize because the sunshine and you get a chance to be coach of the Lakers. You understand what I'm saying? The LA damn Lakers, fam. That's the prize. You should be paying us. Especially if you ain't proving nothing. In this crop of coaches, if you ain't one of them names, I'm not giving you no more than a 2-year deal, fam. And that's me talking. That ain't nothing I've read. I ain't heard the Lakers feel that way. That's just the approach. I'm bringing it to it. And I guarantee you I have a 40, 50 names walking through the door from all over the place wanting to be a Laker coach for 1 year. Because if they do the job right, they're going to be thinking they could either get a big deal from us or be a premium somewhere else, as to which you know coaches get fired every year. At least 3 coaches get fired every year. So that's their leverage to take this job. You do a good job with the Lakers, you could probably get the big deal with the so-and-so team, the Sacramento, whoever ends up, whoever ends up shaking the loose state coach. Milwaukee. The Lord knows Doc need the hell out of there. So that's really what I want to say, man. Lakers should not be afraid of drawing a hard line with the next coach. You ain't got ain't a coach out there right now that has the leverage to demand from you anything more than a 2-year deal. And based on your history, it's not in your best interest to be giving a big deal away to a coach that you may want to fire. It just is what it is. It's too much turnover with our organization and coaches based on our desire to get rid of those coaches. So why we keep giving away these big deals? It's just not necessary. It's not good for us. So that's what I want to say, man. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I'm pretty much running out of time to speak. It's my second Laker video on the day. And, we're moving past this season more or less. If the Lakers prove themselves worthy of a playoff opportunity, that's great. But as of right now, it looks like the best thing we could do is get 8th seed if we win our play-in tournament circumstance. And as a result, you'd be getting the Denver Nuggets in the first round any damn way. As far as I can tell, depending on what New Orleans wants to do, I'd probably do better getting a higher level lottery pick than getting ousted in the first round by the Denver Nuggets. I'd rather have a 14th pick overall in the lottery or something better. You understand what I'm saying? I don't need to make the playoffs that bad if my team just going to get ousted by a team I can't beat any damn way. I'd rather miss the playoffs personally. But I'm a long-termer. You see what I'm saying? I'm a long-term person. I was listening to a guy say, we only got so many years to live in the Lakers, to watch the Lakers. Unless you believe you're going to be watching the Lakers from heaven, you only got so many years, so you can't throw them away. I agree. But with that being said, I have to know what throwing it away looks like. If me kicking the can down the road with a mediocre superstar-led basketball team is my idea of not throwing the season away, then I'm doing it wrong. I need to initiate my rebuild and start the process of being a stronger, healthier basketball team. That's how I preserve seasons. You could do this now or you could do it later. But kicking the can down the road with LeBron James, knowing damn well you can't make him happy and he's taking all your money because of it, ain't going to make you no better than 9th seed next year. And I'm cool on that. Tear it down to build it up. The sooner you do that, the more accurate you do that in terms of preserving all the value of what it is that you have and turning it into what you should, the better your rebuild chances will be. Me being fearful of the draft and thinking I'm gonna find somebody that's not good enough, or being worried about this, that, and the third, man, the best talent is gonna be coming into the league one way or another. Either you're gonna have it or you're not. But if you trust your scouts and you know you got good scouts, which we do, then you probably gonna be the team that gets the better talent. You can't let fear dictate what it is that you ain't doing based on what it is that needs to be done. If something needs to be done and you're being fearful of doing it, it's not gonna help you. Video 44, I thank y'all for watching. I'm out.